So I'm sitting at the gas station. I'm on my way home. I went to the Rob Roy, and then I texted my other one and asked him if he wanted to come to the Rob Roy. And he said he was busy with something, and then he invited me over. So I went. I know, I have no shame. I went. And I want to do this video while it's still fresh in my mind. We had a conversation. He was telling me, he tells me things about, he was telling me that he met somebody else or something. He was telling me about something like that. And he knows that it hurts me. As I have this one side that says, okay, it's for your own good. It's for your own good. It's you rising above and being able to, be his friend. And that in being able to, let go of attachment, then I can really receive the gift of him fully. And he's so unique and so special that I want him in my life. I want him in my life regardless. It was like I was telling my mother earlier in the conversation this morning. Or this afternoon, it feels like this morning. This afternoon, I was telling her, that I've tried to, anyway, we had a conversation and I asked him point blank. I asked him right out if he's attracted to me. And he said no. And he said, that's what I've been telling you. And he has. And I cried. And I told him, it's like I have a hard time believing him. I don't believe him. He said, well, you have to believe it. Yeah, I've told you again and again. Then he told me about another friend that also didn't believe him. That maybe in a previous lifetime we were sister and brother. And I told him, then why don't I feel that way towards you? And I cried. I cried. And he sat there. And I told him that I don't believe him. I told him there's a problem with the belief. And then and then I cried and cried and cried and cried. And after that, he asked me, because I told him, then just, I want to separate the loving him as a friend, because I want him in my life. He's like my best friend. He's cool. I like the things he does. He's unique. I like the way his brain works. I like what happens to me when I'm around him. I like all of that. So he asked me if I would be willing to. I have a pain here. I'm just massaging myself. So he asked me a question, like if I would be willing to give up those feelings for a friendship with him, or in different words. And at first I didn't understand what he was asking me. And then after I understood, he told me, but don't answer right away. Think about it. But I already had the answer. Lessons I'm always learning. But it's also like I'm so shocked and like my brain is buzzing because on so many levels, it just feels like that's not possible. And then he said, and then I told him, and then he asked me again, and I said, no, I don't want to give up on that feeling. And he said, you see, you're not willing to give up that for a friendship. It's not a real friendship. If I get into it, into a relationship with somebody, into a couple, like a coupleness with somebody, and you're around and you're miserable, or you are, not wishing the best for me because out of your place of trying to hold me in like what I want or my needs, that's not real friendship. And I totally get that. And the thing is that it's so obvious to me that of course I would want to give that up. The holding him into some kind of expectation of mine or need of mine to be able to have him near me. And I don't want to hold somebody down anyway. What I like about him so much is his free spirit and the way that he puts everything out there and does what he wants and says what he wants. And that's what I love about him. I mean, why would I want to hold somebody in a box? And I see like he's freeing me of the box that I'm holding my own self in. And so then I told him, but letting go of it, like I want to have that feeling in me. And letting go of it is like, there's so much that I have to let go of. And then I started telling him, how it means I'll never have a life partner, and it's to give up on me, and all of this is like weak, whatever, needy crap. And he like got upset with me. And he said, do you even hear what you're saying? The words that you're using, you're telling yourself that you're never going to have a partnership. How would you have a partnership if you're telling yourself you're not going to have a partnership? If you're already brainwashing, he told me, I'm putting a spell on myself. That by me closing off all those options, saying I'll never have a partnership unless it's you. And he said, and all that baggage on me. And, dependency and stuff. And he said it in different words. And he said a lot more than that. After every conversation with him, I need like days just to process what was said. Like, 'cause it keeps on popping up, all sorts of things that he said, and like, oh, that. And I realize it's because he's talking at such a high level that it talks to, and it's a pure truth. And it talks to so many different levels in me, and it touches so many different places. Any place that is off of synchronicity with the universe, with cause and effect, he speaks, and he speaks truth, and anything that I am off with is going to hit on that and get caught there. And so it's going to hurt. It's going to be painful because I'm off in all those different places. And it's having to look in the mirror. I'm going to balance this because I got myself some Doritos. And a milk. But like one of those orange alternative milks. The oatmeal. It's about the best tasting one. But it's still, I was looking up. Of course. I was looking at its ingredients, and I mean, maybe I'll I'm going to look more into its ingredients. And he was telling me all sorts of stuff. We had a lot of fun. Once that was all out in the air and aired out and stuff, it's still kind of like he jabbed me with a dagger a couple times, telling me stuff. But I feel like things were like set way loose between us. Way loose between us. It's like I can tell myself that I don't believe him. So anyway, at the end there, I did tell him that I do want to cut that attraction part out, and that I'm opening myself up to be attracted to other people. I just am. And it feels kind of freeing, actually. And I even told him at the very end when I left that I'm starting to feel a little bit excited about that. Excited about that I'm open and free. I am open and free to explore whatever. Even if it's just exploring another person, even if I know that it's, not going to be something lasting or something, but exploring opportunity, exploring what, everybody that I meet has something different to offer, has something, and maybe even some kind of intimacy bring into my life. I miss intimacy. Maybe not tie myself to another person. Tie myself, I mean, in a way of having complete intercourse, because I feel like with that, it really does tie you. Especially, I don't know. I think that for men, it's probably the same because we're mirrors. But I feel like as a woman, a man is entering into my sacred place, into my body. I have to allow him to come in. For him, he's going into a home. But allowing somebody into you is the most vulnerable place there it is. It's very different than somebody coming. It's a complete opposite for man and woman. For a woman, as a woman, I have to trust somebody to bring them into me, into me, into me in all ways. And as a woman, because we have that instinct that is a very primal, natal instinct, when somebody comes into me, it's a potential for building a home with him. You become tied to that person. And I feel like with sexuality that is without the completeness of the whole of that, then you're not tied in that way. There still has to be a mutual love and respect there. I don't even know if love, but a mutual has to come mutual. And respect, of course. That each one knows what they're getting into when they're getting into it. And, that it's all out in the open. So even if I don't completely believe him, my twin flame, I've realized with YouTube that when you say the subject of your video in the video, then it's more optimized for YouTube. So every once in a while, I have to say twin flame or twin flame journey or something like that if I want this to get to the proper people that want to see that and this and that are interested in this because they're going through the same thing. And so he told me flat out that he's not attracted to me. And even if I don't completely believe him on it, because of all of the different messages that I'm getting on all of the other layers, I believe that he wants me to believe it. And I believe that he does want me to let go of him in that way for whatever reason his reason is. And I trust him. I trust him that it's for my own good. And for my own good means that the pain will stop. For my own good means that there isn't an outcome that I'm set on. I mean, whether I have a really great relationship with a life partner that's with him or without him, what is the difference? Maybe, and he even said something. He even said, when you have a partner and I have a partner, then we can be friends. And I said, I'm never going to have a partner. And then he said, well, and then he said, um, you're putting a spell on your own self. And he's right. He said, you're not paying attention to your words. And then I tried to like say something again. He said, you're doing it again. Just listen. You have all of the information that you need to make the change and to get over it and to become and to rise. I need to pay attention, more attention to how I'm creating my reality and my words that I'm saying to myself. And I'm sure that it is that way with all the different aspects of my life that I want to be different and I have the outcome that is different than the want or the yearning for. So if I'm yearning for a really good, spicy, um, life partner that challenges me and wants for my own higher good and loves me and pays attention to me and we have good a good intimate relationship, a good sexual relationship, all of it, then then I should be telling myself that story. I am telling myself that story. And I can feel that opening for me to have all of that. And as long as I believe it's coming to me, it has to come to me. And it doesn't matter what package it comes in. If the most delicious, wonderful relationship ever comes to me, what does it matter? I want it to come. So it doesn't have to be his specific package. He can be, if I find all that somewhere else, then I know that the attraction to him will poodle because I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to me when I fall totally in love with somebody. But it's learning, I think it's kind of like learning how to be open always for opportunity. And to wish for him, it's true love. It's unconditional love. It's loving him and being able to love him even without the condition that he has to be like mine. And that's what was something that he was saying. And I left there. First of all, from that moment on, we had a really good time. He had a few jabs, and he's actually having somebody over for dinner. And I was there while he cooked dinner. And so that was really nice. It was nice to be able to do that and to be there and not feel any kind of, because at the end there I was feeling like really good. So I'm seeing this pass. I'm seeing this whole attraction thing. First of all, I am wishing it for myself. And once you start wishing it for yourself, it's only a matter of time before it's already there. And I'm already feeling like a lifting a lifting of, okay, I want new things. I want to just eat life. I want new things in my life. I want to be passionate about what I'm doing to make a, what I'm doing. I want to be passionate. I want to do things that I love doing. And I want to do them for the right reason. I want to do them because I believe in them and because I feel like I'm making, an impact and a change while I am here. While I'm living my own life also to the fullest and completely expressing God through me, allowing. Okay, so that's big. By that reaction, I can see it. I can also feel it, like, am I getting flustered, like overwhelmed. And that's because that what I just said is so big. It's moving into this new perspective and seeing what's really important in front of my eyes. So he put on music. I even danced and talked to him while I was dancing. It was fun. It was like really fun. I think it was the meeting between us that was the most free that has ever been. I feel like we met on different levels at different times. Like we met in the 3D, have all this jabbing going on, and like, let go of me, and blah, 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 and all the stories. And he's not attracted to me. Oh, what I was going to say is, even if I don't believe that all the way, and see, I'm going to make myself believe it in the 3D. That's what's going on, and I'm going to make myself believe it, and to let myself off the hook. He said it. He wants me to believe it, regardless if it's true or not true. He wants me to believe it, and I believe that. That I believe, because I said that I want to break those ties. I want to keep the friendship and the love between us, and the friendship and the conversations we were having. I want to keep all that, and I want the attraction to go away, that I don't feel attracted to him. And he said amen. Like amen. Amen to that. So he seconds that. And I believe what he says. I trust him, and I trust that he's guiding me. And at one point, I told him, I don't know how I can deal with this. And he said, I told him, I don't know if I can deal with this. And he said, you can. And he said, what's your alternative, to commit suicide? And I said, yeah, I've thought about that before. And he said, then why haven't you done it? And it's like putting in your face, like, oh, come on, you're not going to commit suicide. Because if you were going to, you would have. And that's true. And it's kind of like, toughen up. Come on. I'm not going to. What do you want me to come in there and start saying, oh, no, please don't commit suicide? Like, what am I fishing for? He's not giving me what I fish for. He's a fish. Like, he sees right through me in places that I don't even see. And, yeah, it was a jab, because if I was really honest, so, it had crossed my mind before, like, oh, just do it. But it's more of like a flustered thing, because really I know that if I really, like, if I really comes down to it, it's like, what? Yeah, right. I'm sure almost everybody has gotten to a place where they're so flustered that they say, "That's it." And then we had a really fun time. And his mother called, and we talked to her. And she's funny. She's funny, and she has like this spectacular judge of character, and she sees right through people, just like a child, like a child. She's she's something else. And so in the end, it was like totally obvious to me that that I would rather kill the attraction than kill the relationship any day of the week. Kill that yearning for that. And so that is my goal. And all of a sudden, when I realized that that's my goal, and also I said, I have to go through the pain. He said, I don't want somebody in pain next to me. Are you going to sit next to me in pain? I don't know if I want all that energy right next to me all the time. I'm going out with somebody and there's my general pain. And he's right. Like, who wants that? I had that before. I had a male friend that I felt that way from before. And I don't want that. I don't want that energy in my life. If you're my friend, then you want the best for me and you want me to be happy and you want a good relationship for me and you want me to be with somebody that I'm attracted to for sure. And you're able to hold on to all that, la khil is to like retain or to be able to be there for me in all of that as well, be able to share with me and without feeling like I'm going, oh, today it wasn't just, it was like full, full on bawling, full on bawling. But I know that he can take it. He said, I'm sitting here and taking you crying over me in front of me. It's kind of absurd. But it felt good to get it all out there on the table. It felt so good. And to get like this tack answer right back. It's like I got this perfect answer right back to me. Perfect answer. It's schlock straight. Like, I'm not attracted to you. Deal with it. And whether or not I believe him is irrelevant. I believe that he wants me to believe that. And I believe it doesn't matter because then when I believe, oh, he wants me to believe it, it's like saying I don't believe him. But I do believe that if he is saying that to me, there is a reason. I trust him and I trust this process. I trust that we're being divinely guided and I trust that him and I are connected. I trust that we are on this journey after being with him. He also said something about us being on a learning from each other on this journey. He actually called it a journey. And when he called me, he said, I know that you've been thinking about me a lot today because I could feel it telepathically. He said, he said that's like telepathic rape. So I told him, that I feel you sometimes thinking about me. He says, who? Me thinking about you? I said, yeah, you're thinking about me. And so he laughed because he knows it's true. He knows it's true. And so I believe him, truly, truly believe him, that he wants me to cut that tie. And he wants me to be free to explore other options. And right when he walked me to the car, he always walks me to the car. He's so sweet. He walks me to the car. That's so cute. He always says it's to make sure that I'm leaving. He's funny. And so I told my son I was on my way. I need to get going. He's probably going to be calling me here in a minute. Well, I want to get going to be there for him. And so, oh, that's another thing. My son. I'm not going to say anything about that. So he said, right when he walked me to the car, and then I told him, and I'm actually feeling it. I need to rewatch this video. I'm glad I'm doing this video while it's still fresh in my mind. And even with all of that, I left feelings like awesome. I left feeling really happy with having like this. It's like a knowing, like a, um, I have something solid I can hold on to and do work with. It's like, don't hang on me. Okay. So now I have something solid in my hand. I truly believe him that he wants the best for me and that he wants me to let go of dangling on him and wanting him and putting any kind of expectations on him, and that he truly, truly, truly wants me to let go of wanting a relationship with him in that way, a sexual relationship or a couple relationship. He wants my friendship, and he wants me to want his friendship, and for that to be it. I truly believe that he wants me to break those ties with him. He even told me, that when you're attracted to somebody, it has to be there from the beginning. What am I doing? I'm hanging around expecting like an attraction to grow. It doesn't happen like that. Attractions are from the beginning. And I agree. Love can grow. Um, but attraction somehow has to be there from the beginning. Or at least the potential for attraction. There's a time, like, because I'm thinking about when I first met him, if there was a really, really strong attraction, like attraction, something was drawing me to him. Something I was certainly curious, certainly very curious, and there was for sure the potential for attraction there. I think he was so freaking funky. And even in the first time we had like a day together, I was still trying to figure out what all that is all about. Like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It's like on, but a little bit off, but a little bit weird. So I think I was trying to figure him out for a while. But then when the attraction hit, it was like, boom. It was like oh, we've done this before. And why is it if he feels like we were sister and brother in a previous life, why isn't it that I don't feel the same way? Like, what's that all about? I don't know, but he sure is cute. He's cute. He's a cutie pie. We always leave ends open. We always have such a good time. We always have such a good time that I get lost. He was going to bring out a box of keepsakes and show me, and then we never got to it. There's like an open, and I feel like he does that on purpose. He has like these open ends, like he leaves little ends open for like for it just to be just a little bit annoying, just to be a little bit annoying. Go home, and then you're gonna remember the box, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I have to see what's in that box. What's in the box? My curiosity is gonna be piqued, and he's gonna know it. And I feel like he does it on purpose. He has like this mind. He has this genius mind. And he does things like he plays little trickies like that. It's just he's something else. He is something else. He's something else. He's Mr. Tricky Pants. He sends me messages. He sends me messages in his videos, but he sends them to me in the future. They're sitting in on the internet already waiting for me to be ready for the message that's going to come. He already put all the messages out, and it's for me to rise, and as I'm rising, I'm finding the different messages that he sends at the right time for my rising. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. He's got like this web. He's got like casts out a web, catching all sorts of things in his web. Stinker. But I see through him. I see what he's doing. I see it. I see all his he has like he's a choreographer, choreographer, but I see it like 2 months later sometimes, or I see it. I can see it a lot of times while it's happening, but it's happening on this other level. See my eyes from crying so much. Stinking stinker butt. He's so funny. You see why I love him so much? He challenges me. He's so funny. So I want to keep all of this funky town. I want to play with him like he's playing. I want to play the game. Yeah, he's just playing the game of life. He's just like, oh, and he's sitting there chopping his whatever he's chopping, showing me his daggers as he's dagging me. He's so funny. He's so funny in that way. And I see through all his little games. But you can't call him out on it because he's like slippery. And it's not in the 3D world. It's like on these higher levels. So he's talking to me and then I just start cracking up. I just start cracking up, cracking up. Because he's telling me a complete different story on these other levels, but I can't bring those other levels down into the 3D because the minute I do, they dissolve. The minute I do, he's like, what are you talking about? And I have nothing, nothing. But I did get some really good channeling in for him, about his relationships. Um, that was really good. I enjoyed that. So we both got gifts. It'd be nice if his gifts were like feel good gifts. But I guess that the feel good comes in the becoming, like in the harshness of the gifts. Yeah, but he also has to sit there and take all that sobbing too. I'm sure that's pulling some uncomfortable strings in him, something that he's having to go through. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? Okay. People are looking at me. No, thank you. I don't want the attention. Okay. They left. Okay. So now I'm going to start my car and I'm going to go. So I'm really happy I did this video. I'm going to watch this again. So thank you for watching. I'm going to upload this.